All right, what's up, guys, and welcome back into CBLOL Unofficial English Broadcast, where I'm joined by the one and only Axeman as we get into the draft for Cruzeiro Esports versus paiN Gaming.
And right out of the gates here, Dia, it's already some good stuff. The band's coming out. You'd like to see a collie taken away. At least I do anyway. And I know we never disagree on anything, Dia. So it's good stuff here. Little bit of a holdup on that second ban from paiN. But between these two teams, talked about it a little bit already. This might be one of the closer games here tonight. I said I like Cruz. I think they got the ability to keep up here and interested your thoughts here. Wow, interesting
Yeah, I
bands.
mean, I very much like what paiN Gaming have in terms of their roster. I think they got a lot of talent. Lucy Tinone's really standing out to me, and of course, you cannot forget BRTT, who is very well loved in the CBLOL scene. That being said, I think I gotta stick with you here. That I'm rooting for the underdog here. Cruzeiro, newcomers to the scene this year, have really impressed me in their first week, and I expect will continue to. And you already know that this game is going to favor you, X-Men, because they've finally taken away the Graves.
They have taken away the Graves here, and they took it away on red side too. Smart stuff from paiN Gaming, and Cruzeiro almost certainly guaranteed to lock in Talia here.
Holy
Yeah, there
Lord.
it is. All right. Yep. Yeah. No, that's how it goes. But paiN, we'll see what they answer back. We've just seen Graves so far yet today into the Talia. What will they have? They have the Hecarim and Lilia up here. I think you go Lilia, um, but they got the two picks in this rotation. We'll see what they go for. Um, yeah, Kai'Sa locked in. Ooh,
I'd be
okay.
surprised to see a Pike this early on. Much safer to
Yeah,
stick with something like the Galio or even the response in the jungle, but they won't end up going with another jungler here, feeling like there's plenty available that you can play into Talia. My question here is whether Cruzeiro end up picking up Renekton.
it's certainly an option for them. I mean, there's a lot of top laners on the table too. Yeah, Renekton locked in almost immediately. You also had the Camille up. Pantheon was taken away, but a couple other early junglers, strong side top laners, things that you could look for there. Now it's the last round of picks here coming out. Um, Nosferus. I think they pick a mid laner here. They may well just answer back with an ADC. And what they pick is up in the air. They don't have a Felios available. I think Jin is probably the move, but picking Jin at this stage is not a good idea. Yeah,
Well,
Yone
yeah,
gonna lock in here for the mid lane.
yeah, it's an interesting pick here because it feels like Cruzeiro have sort of abandoned the bot lane because you're not going to get your pick of the litter now. It's going to be paiN Gaming handing you whatever ADC that they want if they want to play the game that way. Cruzeiro put themselves in a spot where at least we know that they have a strong top side of the map, and I personally am very excited to see Nosferus on the Yone.
For sure. You could also, if you're paying, just look to start banning away some of those big supports, things that can create problems for Kai'Sa in the early game, things that could roam into your mid lane space and make problems for you there. Or you could just shut out any carries. You got the Jin ban available for yourself there. You can ban away, like Lucian as well. No, they're going to take supports. Here we go.
All right, well, I like the Leona takeaway because Leona, at least, we know has been
Yes.
very, very strong this season. We might even see an Alistair second ban, just speaking of that sort of roaming and also dunking on you in lane potential that comes with the Alistair. A decent matchup into Galio as well. We'll see what they end up choosing. Instead, they
Good
take
stuff.
away the Tristana, which is an odd pick to me.
For sure, yeah, and Tristana not super strong right now in the meta. But what I like about these two bans is that Leona kind of soft bans a lot of AD carries, right? If you're picking Jin and can get Leona, you're getting away with murder, right? That's a
Hmm.
incredible combination. Leona just herself enables so many carries with the roam potential and being able to leave them alone. Also enables things like the Aphelios that was previously taken away, the Caitlyn as well, gives champions like this more mobility options by essentially taking away the mobility of the enemy side. No one does it quite like Leona does. I like the Tristana ban because it's something that Leona doesn't necessarily enable, right? After you ban
Hmm.
away Leona, there's only so many AD carries that you really need to take off the table to limit enemies' options. So Tristana is a pretty good ban here. Lucian, I think, was on the table still. I don't think it's in the draft yet, but
It's going to be passed over
Ash locked in.
completely. And
Yeah.
it's two picks that we haven't seen yet in CBLOL, in the Malphite as well as the Ashe. These are very, very strange times for me, Axeman, but I am very excited to see them. The Malphite specifically hitting the Rift is going to be interesting into Cruzeiro's strong side top. If Robo can absorb this pressure, it's good news.
Certainly, yeah. If you can absorb all of that with a Malphite, even try to make some plays happen mid to late game with the ultimate, good stuff. That's exactly what you need to be doing. Bot lane, um, you're taking the Ashe, you're taking the Nautilus. This is a
Oh,
classic bot lane.
yeah.
There we go. The Syndra picked up there as well. Lots of damage here coming out of paiN. They'll be putting down the paiN here, but yeah, it's a classic bot lane that goes back as far as like season 6 with Ashe and Nautilus. You're just stacking CC, so much CC in this bot lane, and it has to create problems somewhere. It's almost like you don't have to think about why you're drafting this lane; it just makes sense into almost anything. Now that said, this makes sense into Kai'Sa. There's not a whole lot else going on as far as like high mobility carries you need to lock down. You may be limiting some of the potential from Hecarim with the
Mm.
CC, but other than that, you're looking for a lockdown onto carries that were already pretty immobile to begin with. So maybe not the best lane here, but certainly a historically powerful one. On the flip side, another Galio support. Not sure what to make of this.
Yeah, Galio support has been pretty highly prioritized recently. I'm very happy though that we do see some hard engaged drafted from the bot lane, especially when we have things like a Yone in the mid lane that is going to require a lot of support. And even this Talia, ideally, is getting set up to knock him down, because Talia that is ahead, or Talia that has the room to do so, can put out some crazy damage numbers.
No, it really can, and that's something we've been harping on this all day. Is this Talia pick? A lot of that was because it was into Graves, and because you're just not playing the combination right. Right,
Mm.
you're looking for a big AP jungler to be able to deal a lot of damage in those early mid game. Turret dives up in the top lane, and it hasn't been happening. The Talians haven't been dealing tons of damage. They haven't been getting kills in the top lane off of this. They haven't been controlling the top side of the mapping and getting the Rift Heralds. And so much of that is why this combination works. And if you're not making it happen, then you shouldn't have picked it, right? Now, if they can make that happen, they can find this success here, then it'll look great. It's a good combination, but you got to understand why it works, and you have to be able to execute.
We'll see if they can do just that, as we will be getting onto the Rift very, very shortly. This is going to be our last Talia game of the day, so hopefully we get some sort of justification for why we've seen it on our screens for almost 5 hours at this point. The other
Yeah.
one, of course, that I am looking forward to, that I had mentioned previously, is the Yone. Nosferus is a mid laner that I personally am a big believer in. I think that when he goes aggressive, he's very, very good, but he does need that enabling from his team. Needs this team to catch him when he does go in, and if they can master that so early on for the side of Cruzeiro, I think it bodes very well for them going later into the season to be able to have that synergy built up around their top side of the map.
Yeah, Nosferatu has been a shining point for Cruz as well for me. For the entirety of his tenure on this team, it's a very very good mid laner. Being able to see him on this champion is going to be a lot of fun, I think.
That's right. I forgot I had to stand up there as I transitioned into the cameras. It appears we're having a few technical difficulties before we do get into games. So the analysts have been brought on for a bit. I want to take a looking at both of the team comps. How do you expect that we play in that sort of team fight versus 1-3-1 style?
So once again, the Talia Renekton, I feel like the obvious point is that they're going to be playing around the top side of the map. Cruz are so things like the teleport from the Renekton are going to factor into that a little bit. Um, but I think by and large, you're going to have a better time if you're. Oh, I guess we are onto the map
Yeah, we're,
now.
we're back. We're back. Don't worry about
Okay,
it. Keep talking.
we have gotten back on here. I think the big issue for me is that there is so much damage and so much potential for the team fight from paiN from this Galio pick. It's not something I'm particularly comfortable with myself, but it's undeniable how much skirmish potential comes out of this champion with Galio. And come with a single target damage from Syndra as well, coming into a 3v3 in the bot side that just has the Yone dealing like tons of carry damage, right? Ash more so towards that utility side of the carry spectrum. When it's just Yone bringing the tons of damage and you have that Syndra deleting him, it looks pretty rough here for Cruz.
Yeah, and they've got a lot of lockdown as well. Maybe not an Ash Nautilus level, but with things like the
Yeah,
Galio that you mentioned, and honestly, the on-demand CC that Malphite provides, it's going to be a really scary game, and Nosferatu' mechanics are really going to be tested. The other person, of course, that can bring the damage is Sting, and as a yet pretty unproven quantity here in terms of standout potential, I am curious to see what he brings. Last time we did see him get picked off a little early, overestimating himself, but did end up having some of the most damage in the game.
for sure. It's a great point. Something that is very apt to bring up about the Nautilus is that CC is a lot. There's like 4 sources of CC on this champion, but all of them are conditional and all of them are, somewhat unreliable, right?
Mm.
Even the ultimate, which is guaranteed. Okay, hook goes in onto Lucy. Nice there. Some good damage, good trade. Even the ult that's guaranteed to hit takes a long time to get there. Not quite the same with Malphite, with Galio, who are in almost immediately, right? Almost guaranteed to hit, and it's a lot more reliable CC, even if it's less.
Yeah, and that reliability and the speed at which, of course, it happens is going to be a pretty big determinant. But for right now, Renekton should have the run of the lane and maybe even be able to keep Robo down because remember, we got Sting coming up here as well. Seems like the audience is not with us, though, as Cruzeiro not the favorites going into this game.
Not quite, no, but a better margin for sure than we saw last game with a 92-8 split. There's the taunt coming in on the Hawk, not going to lead to anything. Ooh, hook
That
goes
taunt
wide.
would
It's not
that
good.
taunt would that hook rather would certainly have meant death for Lucy, and they're playing a
Yeah,
game of margins down here in the bot lane because the paiN Train really can come in, and there goes the hook once again, flashing away so that the aftershock does not get procced, but Lucy will not burn down. BRTT going to be left down here on his own if he chooses to stay.
certainly Lucy taking the reset here. The safe play, if nothing else, but um, yeah, a difficult lane for them so far. paiN manages to shove the wave in a little bit, gets him a little bit of a CS lead, but that wave sitting where it is going to make him difficult for them to capitalize on Sting being top for most of this game, right?
Mm.
This is where TBO and Hawk want to be, is on the back foot, back in their lane. And being in a difficult position for them to get ganked. This is already an almost ungankable lane between Nautilus and Ash. There's all the CC there. Even a champion like Hecarim with all the mobility that they bring to the table, I can tell you from experience that's a rough gank. So being all the way back
Mm.
under turret makes it all the more rougher, and yeah, it's not going to be viable for Hecarim to spend a lot of time around the bottom side of the map. So they're going to need to make something happen at least mid lane or at least around these dragons. If they want anything to happen, Rune's coming out here on your screen for you. Get the biscuits. That inspiration secondaries there, which I don't think are particularly meta, but I could be wrong about that.
It'll give him a little bit more sustain against Nosferatu as well, who's clearly very willing to trade with him. Tinones is one of the players that I'm looking at on paiN Gaming to really stand out, though, especially on the Syndra. Is very close to the level 6 right now, as we just ding 5. And Syndra is alone one of those champions that can just straight up win you the game. But Tinones is a very talented player. I think I mentioned this yesterday, is one of the youngest players that we have in CBLOL, and has already won a championship, already hit Challenger very early. For right now, though, I'm going to have to hold that point because Cruzeiro, they're looking for a dive onto the Malphite here. Teleports instantly come out, and Robo should be going down here. One more auto doesn't quite do it. Nosferatu can't get the kill either. Trucklex needs to clean it up, but Nosferatu goes down. First blood goes over to Sting here, and Trucklex hunting down Tinones won't be able to find him
Wow.
either. A double kill to our player in the mid lane, Tinones.
Tin Owns picks it up, man. That's a good rotation. A fantastic teleport there from the Syndra and be able to shut that down. Take a look at the bottom side of the map. paiN is already capitalizing on this cursed Talia pick, Dia. I don't understand what about this champion that CBLOL teams like so much, but it seems like any team that lets Talia through just wins. Like, they just allow them to pick it. Check out the replay here. Robo does his best to keep things out. Nosferus teleports in, instantly gets stunned up and killed. Trucklox gets the kill on the back end here. Tanone's running away. That last turret shot, so close, Dia. Oh, you
Really
almost
seals
had
the
him.
deal there. And speaking of sealing the deal, Hawk
Woo!
very, very dead. Lucy escaping by the skin of his
Close?
teeth in this bot lane. Ridiculously close to death,
God.
but PBO not able to answer back.
It's difficult to really describe how disastrous this play is. I mean, we saw the replay in the top lane. As that's happening, Karriok is down in the bot lane taking Dragon. Immediately after the replay finishes, rolls that into a bot lane gank into Ashe Nautilus, gets a kill off that gank, and nobody dies. Like, it could not be going better for paiN right now.
Yeah, this sucks a little bit for Cruzeiro, who only have the Berserker Greaves on Nosferus to show for anything, and only the single kill on Sting. But for right now, Sting having a kill is at least something, because you are looking to him to be a big source of damage. Don't want to have him overestimating himself again, though. This is a classic Sting move, and all of a sudden, Hawk is going to be suffering for his sins. Robo just walks it down, and they get to pick this one up easy as you like. Tinones goes on a killing spree.
He certainly is now 3-0 on this carry, and what is normally a little bit more effective in the late game is now going to be super effective even in just a couple minutes here as he starts to complete that mythic item. Got a lot of gold on hand. Only saving graces at the moment for Cruz right now are the CS lead top lane. It's about a 20 CS lead. And really just that kill onto Sting. So they're going to have to make some serious stuff happen with this top lane combo if they want to make any kind of headway. But we've been seeing it all day, Dia. I mean, it seems like a broken record at this point.
Yeah, I really like the way that Robo is playing as well. He knows that Trucklox can't kill him, because if you're going to abuse a weak side top, they at least need to be weak. But Malphite just isn't. Malphite will absorb everything that Renekton gives him. Already has the Bramble Vest off of that turret dive, and yeah, he can be down as much CS as he likes, but he is not falling. And right now, he's got Karaoke in his pocket as well. Can turn this one around. Has the Unstoppable Force at the ready. Karaoke doesn't even need to gank him right now. Waiting around, clearing out the ward, and now Trucklox is going to need to play on the defensive. Robo's ready to go. So Sting.
Yeah, and Karaoke has ult there, I believe. It might be about to come off cooldown here. Yeah, it actually did just come off cooldown. So he has it up now for potential top lane gank. Gonna start the Rift Herald, though, which is something we have been talking about all game. It seems like all you really need to do to counter this Talia top lane combo is pick up the dragons and then just go for Rift Herald, because none of the Talias have seemed all that interested in Rift Herald yet.
No, it doesn't seem like it. Very interested in the kills that have the potential to be found top lane, but end up not finding one of those and watching Rift Herald get taken away. Now Sting wasting a lot of time in this top lane. Hasn't found anything for his trouble.
It's another great point about the combo is just the time wasted with the Talia. It's one thing to say, you know, I'm a gank-focused jungler. I need to hover a lane for a little bit and see if I can find an opportunity to go in. But the reality is that this is pro play. You can wait for 5 minutes and never see an opportunity, never see a chink in the armor. So it only has so much use, right? Before you really just got to say, I'm getting lucky here. I don't have any agency as far as what I'm making happen in these lanes. And if we want to do anything, it has to be under a turret dive into a Malphite, right? And Tinones already almost has teleport back up. And if they teleport onto that, it's not a winning 2v2 between them.
No, certainly not. Tinone's very, very strong right now as well. 3-0, 88 CS is, I believe, double checking that. Oh, almost the most CS in the game. Is outdone by his very own AD carry, BRTT, who has been having the time of his life in this bot lane, honestly.
For sure. Yeah, it seems like he's been having a lot of fun. He's getting basically everything he wants.
This could be bad, though. Oh, yeah, this is very, very bad. BRTT is super dunked right now. Ends up flashing, but survives even. And Karaoke now starts off the fight. Can't do anything, but does manage to take down Sting. I was so ridiculously wrong right there. Even the teleport here from Trucklox is just going to be him falling. Has no slice. Has no dice. And Lucy manages to knock him up there. Tinone's on the chase. does have the ultimate available, but isn't quite in range. I'm so surprised that paiN Gaming were able to walk away from that positive.
For sure. At the end of there, it looked like it was Cruz the ones getting lucky, but yeah, paiN. Jeez, man. Talian just didn't have the damage to put Kai'Sa down, and that's really where their problem started. Because Kai'Sa came back for them in a big way with the Ecathian Rain. Rift Herald buys them first turret of the game. Where have we seen this before, D? I feel like I've seen this. Oh, look, the jungler's soloing Dragon. I
Oh,
swear we
hey.
just watched this game.
I know, it's just a slightly more melee Graves this time, but it's the exact same concept. Karaoke just gets to basically play the game because Sting decides not to be there for most of the time. And yes, bot lane play looked like a good idea, but they couldn't find that. And it's one of the only plays that they've tried to make during this time. When you have a bot lane with a lot of CC, you can play Sting strong side bot right now.
Sure. Yeah, you absolutely can. But I guess that's not really what they're going after here. Cruz Hawk
Not
found
meant
out
to
a
be.
little bit.
BRTT, though, looking for PBO, is going to get knocked up. This is a winning 2v2 if they want it, but it's not going to be a 2v2 for long. Hawk is just going to get decimated right here, gets stunned up in the end, but manages
Ooh.
to survive. Nosferus goes in, decides, thinks better of it, and now paiN Gaming are the ones that need to get out. PBO picks up a single kill onto Karaoke. The Weavers, while chasing down BRTT, does not want to get taunted up by Lucy, but will anyway. BRTT
Yep.
goes back in. Wait a
Sting.
minute, he takes down
Woo!
Sting.
There you go. Yep, BRTT going back in, picking up that Sting kill, and Tinones gets the kill down onto Hawk earlier in the fight as well. Overall, a pretty good fight there for paiN. Robo and Trucklax stay up in the top side for the time being. Robo has ult up. Um, he's trying to bait Trucklax out from turret. I really hope the Renekton doesn't go up here. Keeping in mind this is a full tank Malphite, so no real threat from the ult combo that you might see from an AP Malphite in solo queue, but he's still a bit of a lane bully, right? The Q still does quite a bit of damage. Yep, there it is.
Yeah, he's feeling himself in these trades against Trucklax, and Trucklax has got to be wondering why they first rounded Renekton right now, because this champion is not putting up the performance that he is used to from last year.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that's a very, very good guess that is exactly what they're talking about in comms right now. Why did we pick this? Why is everybody else picking this? Robo, yeah, that's not a good trade. Oh man, bot lane, things are trying to happen there for Cruz. Um, but Lucy's just kind of playing the vision game. Can really play off the lane, which is valuable for support. You get a little bit more XP here and there for BRTT. Meanwhile, you don't lose too much because you're picking up the wards, right? They might be looking for the dive here as Hecker in positions around the bot side. It's going to be a 3v3, though. The counter gank from Sting has already arrived.
Oh yeah,
There it
Karaoke
is.
knows that he's not spotted and goes straight onto PBO right now. Has no options but to be under his tower, where BRTT slays him where he stands. Karaoke needs to get out from under the tower and will, even dodging out the Fate Sealed, while Tinones picks off Sting in the background. It is a slaughter under the tier 1 tower, and paiN Gaming pick up what is almost an ace there.
They're going to get first turret of the game. They're going to get second turret of the game as well here down the bot lane. As Tinones goes 5-0. Yikes. This one might just be over.
We were thinking this was a Cruzeiro favored game, but it doesn't look like it from where I'm standing right now. It is unfortunate for PBO, who has no options there, and then Karaoke gets out.
Yeah, he gets out. Critical as well. Karaoke did not have vision on the Sting. Going into that play, did not know Sting was there. So when they run into the lane on the back end there, they're just hoping to close the door onto PBO and onto Hawk. Instead, they find themselves in a 1v3, and that causes Lucy to immediately ult, leaving them out of position. That ult hits nobody, and it kind of goes downhill from there until Tinones arrives and the teleport from Robo comes in. And at that point, it's just a 5v3, and they win handily.
Yeah, it was very well done by paiN Gaming, capitalizing on the lack of vision, the lack of defensive vision for Cruzeiro, and making that play bot side to really blow up the map right now. They've already got two dragons. You can assume that with the pressure, they'll likely move themselves to Soul Point, and Malphite has free roam of the map right now, no longer has to sit in lane against Renekton, which, as it looks like, he was falling asleep during anyway.
I think so, yeah. He was making it look pretty easy. 30 seconds on Dragon. It's the third one of the game. Ocean map, by the way, if you hadn't noticed. Not a good map to play strong side top on. Not if you're not going to teleport down for those plays anyway, or if you don't have an opportunity to. Rift Herald is up at the moment, and so this is the type of play where you're thinking like, okay, we're till the Renekton top. We're going to go take the Rift Herald while they take the Dragon. You almost can't because it's the third one, and they have all three if they take this. So you kind of have to leave behind your Rift Herald and go contest this bot lane Dragon. And your mid laner's top lane doesn't have teleport. They're just going to lose this.
Yeah, you've got no vision on it, and honestly, with the way that paiN Gaming are looking right now, they might even take the Rift Herald themselves.
What? He's so like this is my thing. Like it's one thing to be like, okay, we have tracking on them. They have all five members of the Dragon. We can't contest that. That's fine. It's another thing to say, like, we have tracking on two of their members. There can't be more than three at the Dragon. Let's go fight.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
It maybe not the best look. We were talking about the macro game a little bit in the break there, Axeman, and macro maybe not looking like the strong point for either team. Although paiN Gaming coming out ahead.
paiN's certainly coming out ahead, and I think a lot of that is down to really, and not to oversimplify, but just like teleport management. 10 ounce dropping the clutch teleport onto a play has saved like 3 plays now for paiN, and it's only at 17 minutes, so he's basically using it on cooldown. That's like fantastic, right? You can't use teleport in a better manner than that. So it's just really good management of those resources, and the team putting themselves in correct positions to be able to do that as well. It's a good understanding of the map and good macro. But yeah, it's been some interesting plays from both sides. It's not been great. But this is what we were talking about. If you want to trade Dragon away for Rift Herald, do that. Don't give up both of them. Not if you don't have to. And keep in mind, oh, there's the ult down onto Lucy.
All right. Well, at least Lucy's getting knocked up, but
Yeah.
there's not a whole lot else happening. Tinones has
Yeah.
decided that he's going to solo win the game though, and just delete Sting.
Yep, that's the single target damage we were talking about. He's 6-0. It's a big old Syndra. Finds picks basically by himself. And that's all there is to that. They drop Rift Herald immediately mid lane. This should take it down on the charge. And they're going to get another charge off on the inhib turret. And man, Dia, this might be a pretty short game here.
Yeah, your question right now is Cruzeiro, since you've already lost your base.
Another one.
Yeah.
You got another charge off.
Which is insane. Like your question is Cruzeiro isn't how can we win the game, but which blaze of glory do we want to go down in? Right now, I'm just waiting for that last explosive team fight, and Tinones wants nothing to do with any of that. He wants a clean win.
Can't remember the last time I saw Rift Herald get 3 charges off in a pro game. That's on an inhib too, like on the inhib turret and then onto the inhib. Wow,
Yeah,
that's wild. They do get the inhib off of that play, I believe. No, it didn't go down.
No.
It just got the charge off. Okay, so yeah, at least something there for Cruz to hold on to. But 2.5 minutes on that next dragon. That's Ocean Soul, by the way. So that is quite literally the game sitting there for them without having to get to the Nexus. So
Let's play a game, Axeman.
all right.
Does the Soul Dragon get soloed?
I hope so for the memes. I hope it doesn't for the pedigree of CBLOL, right? I don't know what it's going to say about this league if that happens. I don't think it's going to be good things.
Yeah.
Yeah, dragon spawning in a couple seconds, or a baron spawning in a couple seconds here, excuse me. That, honestly, paiN could probably take that if they really wanted to. They have 3 members deathless, massive gold lead, but they don't have to. It's just like they kind of could. Actually, they might here. Look at them.
Yeah, we should see paiN Gaming start this up. They have no
Yeah.
reason not to, really. There's no
Wow.
world in which Cruzeiro
Well,
successfully contest this, and they're just going to start two-manning it. You can see the ping is coming down, but I'm not sure if Cruzeiro are going to do anything about it. They're too busy trying to pick off Robo. The hook will land, and finally paiN Gaming decided to do something about it, ulting onto him to start the fight off, as Karaoke is also focusing Hawk now, but BRTT with the killer instinct into the backline does take down PBO, and as always, next on the chopping block is going to be Trucklax. Hawk not long for the world either, and it is a mop up of Cruzeiro. Nosferis is looking for the fate sealed, gets two and gets a double kill on his
ooh.
way out, equalizing that just a bit.
That's the Nosferis diff we were talking about. Brings himself back into the land of the living with the 2-2-0 kill line there. But yeah, they probably could have taken the Baron. It would have just been like extremely early. Like as soon as it spawns, being able to take that. And with the 2-man, I think that was probably a bait. They rotate over onto them chasing down Robo. But yeah, just as easily could have finished that off if they wanted to. Dragon Soul is up in 30 seconds here for paiN. Will they solo it? Karaoke is taking the reset. Looks like probably not.
He's preparing for the eventual solo, getting some lifesteal for himself, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Speaking of lifesteal, we do have Nosferis significantly towards that next item there, which I assume is going to be a Bloodthirster if I have my 80 carry build paths right.
I believe so, yes. But hey, your guess is as good as mine. Lucy playing the vision game mid lane now, taking those stealth wards. Oh, okay, here we go.
I mean, he gets to play for as long as he likes because this guy
Yep.
is nigh unkillable as compared to almost anybody on Cruzeiro right now. Tanks 5 members and only takes him to half health. Well, meanwhile, Cruzeiro still wondering whether they get to actually contest this dragon. Karaoke goes golden. That's exactly what happened. And paiN Gaming get to move themselves into the dragon pit.
Yeah, and this is the dragon dance playing out in front of us now. But no solo. But the dragon going down real quick
Ooh,
here.
arrow going wide is big there, but Robo's still sitting in the front line, still has the ult available. BRTT, Killer Instincts into the back line where Trucklax is waiting. Nosferis cleans up a single kill, but cannot quite find another one. Looks for Karaoke, but again, just does not have the damage yet. And 4 other members of Cruzeiro are dead as Nosferis is getting chased down by BRTT. The last auto does it. The ace comes in, and paiN Gaming, alongside that ace, are going to secure themselves a nice serving of the soul.
Yep, the Ocean Soul taken down there. Last hit by Karaoke. They rotate onto the Baron now, as they've been waiting to take this one for quite some time. Not so many Deathless members as before, but still very much in the lead here with the 8K gold lead. So this Baron should, this should be the end, I would say, once they have this one. But a couple things just to point out. BRTT and Tinones, absolutely cracked. Just huge on the Rift right now. Here's the contest from Cruz.
This is going to be a pretty short-lived contest if you're going in 3v5 because
Yeah.
Tinones is right here. The Baron is already down and the chase has well and truly begun as paiN Gaming look for the pickoff onto Hawk. Tinones left a little bit exposed, but there's no hard engage left on Cruzeiro to make the best of that. So they get a pick and the Baron immediately after collecting Dragon Soul.
Great stuff. As the signs of dominance that we've been seeing from paiN for the last 20 minutes. Taking everything they want, leaving nothing behind. Tino's flashing the ult there as PBO's ultimate cooldown is very low on that crystal arrow. But flashes away from it. Robo taking the bot lane turret. He's got the Baron empowered minions, and the only person coming to stop him is Trucklax, so he should be able to take this one down.
Yeah, I think you can ignore Trucklax as Robo at this point. You've already got 3, let's call it 3.5 armor items if we include the boots here. In the meantime, we're seeing a play in the top side as Nosferis not long for the world in a 2v1. Ugh.
Doesn't feel good. He gets the turret, trades his life back for it, but it's at least something.
Sting was not in the bush. That was a questionable play. He gets deleted for that mistake. And Cruzeiro, as a whole, I think, are in the process of being exactly the same there. Trucklax struggling for his life right now. Tinone's just pushing down the top side because he's not even needed a triple kill. Goes over to BRTT, and he's looking for Hawk next. This wouldn't be the Penta, but it would be the Quadra kill, and that would feel pretty nice for him. Instead, leaving that one to Karaoke because winning the game is more important.
A little bit more important in pro, I would go ahead and say, than padding the stats. But taking inhibs now, They do have the Baron. I think they could probably end. It's just a little early in the game, so things are a little slower than maybe we're used to with Baron with base takes here.
Nosferus, though, in a lot of trouble is he's going to have to go back under that tower. I'm not sure if anybody told him that one, but paiN Gaming, they definitely know. There he goes. Oh, poor Nosferus. And they're going to lose their last inhibitor as well. This could just be the end of the game, X-Man.
Yeah, I would think it would have to be, but there's the fight.
Yeah, Lucy gets stunned up, but still nobody from paiN has gone down. In the meantime, you lose your Ashe, and you're about to lose your Renekton, and a double kill goes over to Robo, who's playing weak side the whole game. Just nothing to be taken advantage of there, and paiN Gaming, revealing no holes in the armor here, will take down Cruzeiro for the clean win to finish this off for day 2.